all the way to next Thursday at 5 o'clock. All right, that's app day next Thursday. And how many of y'all having one of your best months you've had in a long time? Okay, y'all are proud of your month. How many of y'all would like to have a better month? And you can push for the next, what, 2 weeks, okay? So we have some guests on the call. We have California on the call. Dion, you on the call?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell them what this does for you and your team all the way out in the Bay Area. And think about that. That's hours and hours and hours away. But through technology and also through leadership, he's actually been away from our base shop and our leadership for over a year now. Actually, over a year and a half, huh, Dion? And started from scratch out in a new area. I need to plan a trip down there and really quick like, okay? But Dion's going to do some big things out in that area. He's a regional vice president out in the California Bay Area. So Dion, what does this do for you and what are you doing so these guys can understand the value of this meeting? What are you doing with this information?
Well, I mean, the value is huge, man. I mean, it's just great to be able to be plugged in live and to get a part of the hierarchy in the squad again and just get a chance to hear everyone's voice. And that a lot of times just gets me fired up. Like when I go to Fast Start School, like the first 5 minutes is all I need because all I got to do is hear and see some people and hear what they're doing. And I'm ready to get after it. So being out here, kind of on our own is nothing really to plug into out here. Wow, man, it's really huge. It's huge for me and also for our team, getting a chance to show them the videos. Because our office is only about 400 or 500 square foot, but showing them those videos and them getting to see what a real hierarchy, what a real base shop is supposed to look like, how meetings are supposed to be ran, and all that, man, is really huge. So they're definitely excited about what you guys are doing, allowing us to plug into.
Excellent. Hey, Dion, I couldn't help the whole time you're talking, because this is all about relationships. I couldn't help but thinking about you and seeing you. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all know what I'm talking about in this room, right? That know you can see him. He's like the Slim Shady. You know what I'm saying, right? And it's really neat because I'm sure you can see me and you can see Gerard's bald head and Brian's bald head. If you saw what I saw right now, they're both sitting next to each other like two cue balls, right? Okay. Yeah. And now Gerard's gotten fancy with his iPhone and he's got like a little earpiece that goes to it. He's teeing out. But I also have Paul on the call. Paul Scarlett is a near-term regional vice president, and you got to hear this, guys. As a regional manager, has operated and built his own business out there and stayed afloat out in a different city in Dallas with no leadership. Okay. In that area, okay? It's kind of like Dion out in California, but you have the tools and you have the resources. What has this done for you, Paul? What's it doing for you?
Well, what it does for me, it's galvanizing together, being separated, it's kind of stuff that reminds me of when we were in the bake shop here together, and so forth. All the technology has from Kirby and his group, Jake and Saturday and all this, from a lot of the leaders in that office, man, just bring that real life situation, back, or, the bake shop atmosphere, and so forth. So I really like it, man. I'm looking forward, man, every Monday to plug in.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And then we have Cynthia and Catherine out in Opelousas. What y'all got, ladies? Hello. We really got it going, Troy. Y'all got 8 appointments this week? Hey, Catherine.
Yes, Troy, thank you so much for bringing Monday morning to us. This is quite a lot to us. Jen and I have been viewing the season. So last week again, you guys have done an incredible job. It's helped to really go out and motivate, okay? And team's excited. As a matter of fact, when we finish with you today, we have an appointment and wait to get that young lady because she needs to hear us. And
Hey, thank you. And I'm looking at Gerard and Terrence, and think about this. If it wasn't for Terrence, y'all wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for Gerard and him coming down there as well as Terrence and training you guys, and in the effort that I put in, and the effort obviously that y'all put in, we couldn't do what we're doing right here, right or wrong.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, so it's a team effort, and when the team comes together, everybody grows. So thank you for being on the call. Let's go ahead and get started. And I want to start off with saying this. We were in what's called the Breakfast Club at one point. How many of y'all remember the Breakfast Club? Yeah. Right? And the Breakfast Club was an opportunity where we can get around other leaders in the city of New Orleans and expose ourselves to other styles of leadership, but also realize how good we have it and how good we had it back then. And it was real eye-opening, because once you get outside of our environment, would you agree, you start appreciating maybe what your mom and dad did for you when you get out of your house, maybe the clothes they washed, maybe the food they cooked, maybe, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And as much as you wanted to get out, you also realize how good it was, okay? And I think there's no perfect environment, there's no perfect leadership, in my opinion, but I want to read this to you, because it was said every time at the Breakfast Club, and some of y'all will get chills like I got, because I love bringing back the flavor, right? And what you're seeing happen in our organization, like Paul said, he's seeing the different people crystallize, like Brian and Gerard and Shade and Kirby and all the leaders, now the new RVPs with Nick Dehart and these guys. So every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows that it must run faster than the fastest lion, or it will get killed. Every morning a lion wakes up, it knows that it must outrun the slowest gazelle, or it will starve to death. Gazelle?
No, it's right.
It doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle. What's so perfect about this, wait.
Matthew Bird next year.
All right. If you're smart and you want to survive, you'll copy the gazelle and wake up running, okay? It doesn't matter.
It's written different.
Oh, God, great. All right.
Hey, moral of the story.
Get up running.
When the sun comes up, your ass better be running.
All right. So I've got a couple of key things here. And Nick Dehart, I want y'all to hear this. Nick Dehart, brand new regional vice president, has his securities license before he went out, right? Probably a lot less stressed that way, right or wrong. So his code number was able to be effective on the computer as a new regional vice president. I love how it says roads at the back. Right, so it's not fields, it says roads. Now I'm like, I got to look for other people in the fields hierarchy, right? Okay, that's fun. That's a lot of fun, and I love seeing his name on there, because now he's got business ownership. And the biggest thing I love is his determination, his commitment to go out there and prove to himself and his family. He just told me in the office he's going to make over $10,000 his first month as a regional vice president. His name's showing up. He's going to do over 10 and 10 the first month out. Guys, how many of y'all would agree that's big? Okay, that's a big deal. So after giving up replacement, his replacement's going to do $10,000 this month, right? He might do more than that, right? So now hear this: his replacement's going to do more than $10,000. He's going to do more than $10,000. How many of y'all think that's a solid growth? Yeah. Okay. So Nick, man, I appreciate what you're doing. I mean, you're excited, right? All right. So give it up for Nick. What do y'all want to do in one clap? Some y'all are slow right now, so watch. When I say Nick, one clap. Nick, 2 claps. 3. Break it down, 2. 1. So you can't tell me you don't like that, right? That's a big deal. And there's also some things going on. When you think about what I just said there, Kirby and Sikora have promoted them, right? They did the numbers, they did what it took. They went over 20 and 20 to get promoted. Y'all got that, right? Gave up a strong replacement. Now the replacement is going temporarily and saying he's not here today, okay? But would you agree that's how people do? Look, all we can do is all we can what? Do. And all we can do is enough. But keep what? Doing. Okay? You can't control whether people go temporarily insane or not, and we know what's gonna happen, right or wrong. Come on, how many of y'all been there before? Okay? So watch. We've got to also what? Press on. Kirby did like 5,000 in production in 1 week. Listen, guys, in 1 week, he as a leader went out and did 5,000 in production. Would y'all agree that's a big deal? And he told me, he says, Troy, I'm going to go do my 4 recruits personally. I'm going to do 8 to 10,000 in personal premium. And now watch, he does that. His base is going to go over 35 and 35 this month. And now with a new RVP, they will hit their best all-time numbers, 45 and 45, through what? First. Are y'all hearing this? So has he grown? Yes. And the biggest thing I love, he corrects early. I love the fact that he's going out there and personally producing. Does this make sense? Okay. Then we also have Noelle that's not here today, right? But Noelle on Brian's team is on a lot of their production. She is like a skinny toothpick, right? And she's #1 in the state, and she's #2 in the nation, huh? Oh yeah, Deion Palmer. She does the always. Yep, she's in solid like that. So she's #1 in the state, and she's #2 in the nation. Okay. So here's the point. How many of y'all want somebody like that on your team? Okay. There's big things going on in our organization right now. Jonathan just told me this morning he just did 4 or 5 families help this week. Is that right, John? So what's happening with you?
We got another 5 more right this week.
Okay, so watch. In a new area, in Houma, right, down in Louisiana, came from Shreveport. He's going to do 10,000 in production this month. Come on, guys, give him 1 clap. Give him 2, 3, 1. Wasn't a 2 and all that fancy stuff. But here's my point. If we can't recognize people, we can't grow. And it's important that we understand that if you do something, you're going to get recognition. We're not going to hold back and give you no recognition, right? There's other people doing great things in here. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you, I mean, how proud I am of Shade and Tammy moving in here. Now they double-digited already. Their first month here, really, because I don't count the first 30 days. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's like you're moving and you're doing all kind of stuff. And I know if it was Tammy, she counts it, right? But it's, come on, how many of y'all know what I'm talking about? It's like sometimes it takes 6 months just to get acclimated. Right. To get your checking account settled and your furniture and your cats where they belong and all the other stuff, right? Okay? Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So in leadership, I love the fact that they're in here and they got people showing up already to these meetings. Okay, they already have 10 people already showing up to the opportunity meeting. They already have implanted themselves in here and they're helping us grow. Is that important? Okay, cha-ching! The Mexican. All right, so watch here. So Shade and Tammy, Shade, what did you tell me? You're already on 3 recruits right now?
Yeah, we'll be on 5 personals today or tomorrow.
5 personals, all right? 5 personal directs are ready by tomorrow.
Shreveport team's going to do, they have 28, I think, ADs this week. Wow. And about 28, 21, and like 10,000 outside of that will follow up.
So what you're saying is you can give the Titans a run for their money?
We're working on it, brother.
We're working on it, okay? So think about what I'm saying. We got to have that competition because I know the Hurricanes are getting what? Right? So here's the thing, guys. That's just real, okay? The Rhinos are on 19 recruits right now, #3 in the state, okay? And we're also on 12,000 in production. So here comes the what? The Rhinos, okay? We're going to compete, guys. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I know we've got the people to do it. It's Carlos. You can't tell me that Carlos can't be a regional vice president. Terrence and Cynthia and Catherine and Paul that's on the call here, and then tons of people that are in our base shop like D'Artagnan and Ione and all these different people, right? So it's very important you hear what I'm about to say next, okay? We've got to get these head-to-heads going. The head-to-heads from the Super Saturday have got to take what? Shape. It's got to mean something. It's got to mean something that Ruben's not here, and I'm sure their car broke down like last week, right? Okay, but I'm sure they've got a real excuse, right or wrong. Okay? But here's the thing I love about Ruben. He's putting it on the board.
Yes.
You go look at the numbers. He's #1 in the state at the regional manager level. How about it? Do y'all look at any of these numbers?
Yes.
Right? And I asked Gerard this morning, and I love Gerard. He didn't even have to say it. I said, so Gerard, you going to beat Ruben? He goes, why? Because he still got his what? Team together, right? He thought it was him on his own. And that's okay. Here's the key thing. Go beat him. Go beat him. We can take away the what? Numbers that Josh does and everybody else does. Let's look at his numbers. Does that make sense, guys? Okay? And I love that about competition. Then I mean, but we got to look at these numbers and start competing. I shared with my base shop last night, and if y'all remember this on the call, I don't have any RMs showing up on a computer. Any RMs that says Fields on the other side showing up on a computer in the top 25, yeah, that's true. We do have one, Cynthia, that's got like 3 or 4 recruits showing up. Then we got Steve Dufresne, and they ain't even here this morning. He's on 3 recruits. That's the only 2 to show up. So if we got the posse that I keep selling, well, your name's got to show up.
Right.
Okay, put up or what?
Shut up.
I just told Ray, guess what? He stood up in our meeting, okay, and he said, I'm telling you, you can count my numbers. 10 and 10, this is for real, right, okay? And I told him this morning, it was the heat of the moment, all right, okay? But the good news is it's a forgiving business, and the good news about our business, guess what? Every day is a new day. Come on, everybody work with me. Every day is a what? New day. Then you got Ashley, stand up back there in the back. Ashley in the back, right? This is the kind of stuff, look, I get chills. This is the kind of stuff that I look for. You want to electrify a hurricane base shop? Now hurricanes count this. I'm trying to help y'all beat us. Listen guys, how many of y'all would agree we all need to grow? Right? So I don't want to be the kind of competitor, guess what, I want to smash you in your face, and I want to do that stuff, but I want to what? Make sure we all grow because of it. Because the best thing for the rhinos, Ashley, is you come on board and you beat up on Norvell because he'll be active on Monday. And matter of fact, y'all get half of that.
You got 25.
Is this making any sense?
Yeah.
Come on, help me out.
Yes, sir.
Omega, does this make sense?
Make hell out of sense.
So now watch, we're going to work our fannies off to make sure that, by the way, I got to just stand up for a reason, okay? But here's the key thing. She saw her brother called her and said, Omega's her brother, by the way. She came down here and she saw the environment. Immediately, she was living in Houston, immediately she says, sell the house, get us some property, to her husband, sell the house, get us some property, we're coming down and doing something great. And now, how many of y'all would agree she's going to be a big regional vice president? Oh, yeah. Anybody that can drive a pink Corvette's going to be big. Guys, y'all be... And by the way, she's the one that dresses Omega, for all of y'all want to know. But guys, I just want y'all to hear this again. I want to have fun here. I'm going to say it again. If we can't have fun, I don't want to do it.
Right.
I want to have fun in Primerica. I don't want it to be a pain in the you-know-what. Come on, help me out, guys. I want to have fun. I want to celebrate our victories. There's enough pain outside of these windows. I want this to be a great place to come to, a happy place to come to, a success place to come to, where you get here and you get rewarded for being you, for being a winner. All right, so here's the last point before I bring a guest speaker today, okay? 100 by 100 by 10. I'm no realist, okay? Right now, our hierarchy is based on where we're at. We're about 50 and 50, with 2 weeks to go. How many of y'all believe we can pound this thing and go over 100 and 100 by 10? That's a doable deal.
Yes,
but we all got to focus in on this and know that each one of your families you help, each one of your recruits you get, each one of the ones you get trained and licensed is going to help the total numbers. Faux show. You'll see that, right? Faux show. So Kirby's team said they got half of it. All right? Now, I don't know if that's a challenge, but I love the fact he's saying that. How many of y'all want to override that? Come on, work with me. How many of y'all want to override that? Don't hate now. All right. So they're going to get half of that. I need more people stepping up like that. Come on, guys. What part are you going to play? I know Megan, their group said they're going to do 20 and 20. So they're, what, a third of that?
We're a third right now.
Almost a third, right?
A third.
A 20th, okay? So we've got to understand what the goal is, because the HPC is coming.
Right.
My part, after our guest speaker comes up, my part is to talk about that. All right? What do we have to do to get our business moving to get to the HPC and have success at the HPC where we're not sitting in the crowd clapping for everybody else?
Right.
We need to make sure we do it on purpose. We need to make sure we have a game plan over 90 days to commit for 90 days. 90 days of insanity, 90 days through the holidays, right? To go win and have the best 2013 that anybody's ever had. By the way, that's the first time you ever had it. This is 2013, we haven't been through that, right? But here's the point. 2013, there's gonna be ring wearers, new ring wearers. 2013, there's gonna be RVPs that haven't even come in our office yet because of the explosion. Do y'all realize we're going to promote over 25 regional vice presidents in 2013? We'll have 3 new ones just at the HPC. Maybe 4. People get off their ASS, okay? Here's the point I'm making. We're going to have an RVP explosion. We're going to have a leadership explosion. We're going to have a ring explosion. y'all realize, did y'all hear about that?
Yes.
Did y'all hear about this?
Oh,
We're going to have 10 new ring wearers in 2013. 10 new ring wearers. Brian's going to get the ring. Nick's going to get the ring. Ruben's going to get the ring. George's going to get the ring. Who else is getting it? Jonathan's going to get the ring. Robbie Buick, y'all see what I'm saying? We're going to have 10 new ring wearers in 2013. We're going to put some bling in the ring. So we're going to get some diamonds because they're kind of feeling light. I'm going to put some weight on there. Y'all know what I'm talking about? We're blind some people. Come on, help me out, guys. We need to have this kind of mentality right now. Where you're at is not where you're going.
Right.
It's where you're going is where you're going. So work on that today, okay?
Yep.
All right, so here's the point, guys. We got a lot to cover today, and I want to make sure we bring him up, and he's got 30 minutes of his best, okay? And I asked him to share this stuff because it's right in alignment with what we've been talking about building. Right, Shay?
Yeah.
Okay, about building. And one of the other things about leadership is being a servant. All right, and I love the fact that I was able to call Shay yesterday and was able to jump on an appointment for me out in Destrehan. And I wrote these two things down. We got to serve more, and we got to what? Thank God more.
Yeah.
How many of y'all believe this?
Yeah.
So once you start serving, right? Once you start serving, you start what? Returning. It starts returning, okay, in multiples. So serve, it makes you feel good because you served. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So when you serve, guess what? It automatically makes you feel good, so is it worth it right there?
Absolutely.
Come on, guys, help me out.
Yes.
So when we serve, then we what? Thank God for what we currently what? Have. Thank God for what we have. Thank God for what you have. And what? Serve. If we just work on those two things, thank God for what we currently have, and ask for what? Come on, more. Thank God for what we have and serve. You're gonna do great in life. Okay, I mean that. And I bought Shay for going out on an appointment for me. He's kind of like strange, and it's my son said the same thing. Are you drinking, Dad? It says Seagram Sparkling Seltzer Water. So he's got a whole 12-pack here. So he can have some seltzer water with his little fake cigarette, right? And help me bring up Shay Dufresne.
Okay. Party and shades off. Well, I love it. That actually works very well. So there's some Tanqueray. Anyway, so what we're going to do actually, before I start, we played this on Saturday morning. And if you don't know me very well, I can be a little sarcastic. So
Turn it up.
I have an
This is funny as can be.
I think certain things are funny, so I don't mean to offend, sort of. So remember, one of the things about growing as a person is you can't get offended by certain things. You gotta let things go. Take it as what it is. And Omega, this is actually on that computer now. I know you asked about it, so you zip drive it off on that.
Cool.
So if you can, now look, by the way, a lot of people in Shreveport, everyone wanted to get on the little thing. It's all about who I know. So if I know you well, I can put you on here and make fun of you. So.
Hey Daniel, how is your prospecting going?
Hey Troy, I know I don't sound like it because of the Shreveport accent, but I am fired up. I am getting around 100 names a day, and I'm going to bring my wife here.
That's great, Daniel. Are you going to double digit this month? You know, you can't win unless you double digit.
Absolutely. I am a double-digit machine. I'm going to do it even though my dog crapped this kennel again today.
That's what I am talking about. What I am trying to say is, if you just get it done, the dog will stop crapping in your house, everything in the business will be great, and we may even get world peace.
You're right. I will. I'm going to kick Carlos's butt in our competition this week. I think he said he has a lot up there, but I can't understand anything he said.
I don't know. Carlos has 20,000 to ride this weekend from what I heard. Did you hear about my golden boy, Brad?
Yeah, I think I might have heard something about it. Isn't he up against the graham cracker guy on Kirby's team?
He sure is. Don't worry, the golden boy always wins. What about Omega Supreme? Is he going to beat Robbie Buell this month?
I don't know Troy. Robbie is my hero. I hear that he's on the roll right now. Did I mention that I like to work out? And I love that the new coffee shop that Carlos took me to. I think it's called Pulcino.
I don't know anything about that, Daniel. You have fun over there. And if you need to work out, you are looking like a skinny John Cena. Recruiting solves everything. Anyway, who else is competing this week?
Well, Brian Harris told me that he was going to wax the floor with the Rhino-based shop this month. If I remember right, Freddie said he and Noel would handle it themselves.
What are you talking about? You mean the Hurricanes? Never. More like a slight drizzle after the Rhinos smoke their butts. Teen Titans? That should be a pretty good matchup, right?
Not really. Shade always wins. My hero too. It's not like he's writing a script of this. Hold up, Troy. Let me answer this. Hey, Turks. I am with Troy right now. No, I don't know how to wobble or shake it. You should call Carlos and David Terry. Bye. Anyway, Gerard is up against that new regional vice president, Ruben Chavez Rack. I thought Gerard was more of an investment guy.
Well, he did do 3 of them. I think he can win. He is on 2 recruits and he used to be known as Turbo Man anyway. Recruiting solves everything. Big base shop.
Yeah, I get it. So who do you think will be the next VP promoted out? I am betting on Jonathan. Omega can do it too. Did I mention that I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
What does that have to do with anything?
Recruiting solves everything.
Those who build a big base shop.
So, what is it like being a $500,000 earner?
It's amazing. I have a solid gold toilet. I eat lion meat steaks. I have a flying car. I do whatever I want.
Are you serious?
No, but it is pretty amazing. Go down to me. Let's go in.
I have access.
And I have pretty hair.
We all like having fun. Yeah. Who wants to do the next one?
This I'm going to be a Shreveport. I'll have another one named for this Saturday. I was telling Carlos here. I was trying to get it so that I got Daniel and Carlos because they're always always talking trash to each other. But the Spanish accent, I think you really couldn't understand a damn thing he said. So I'm like, I got to relate to this. Okay, guys. So what we're going to go over is the super speed, and we just renamed this ourselves. This is actually from Bill Arender. Tammy and I did a thing with what was it called, Double Digits Dallas or something like that, in Dallas. And Arender hosts it out there, and he gets all the RVPs in the Dallas area and has a big thing. We were the guest speakers. We did op meetings and all that other stuff for them, and we did a 2-hour training for them. But Bill Arender did this training at that day, and I'm telling you, I'd never seen it put quite this way. It's amazing, and the whole concept was he started it off with profiling is important. Profiling has a lot to do. Anyone, you guys watch CSI or Criminal Minds or all that stuff? Profiling, if you look at Profiling 101, offender profiling is a method of identifying the perpetrator of a crime based on the analysis of the nature of the offense and the manner in which it was committed. Various aspects of the criminal's personality. You don't have to write this part down. Okay. Various aspects of the criminal's personality make up or determined from his or her choices before, during, and after the crime. Okay. So that's profiling criminals. If you were to profile a $100,000 earner, what you're going to find is pretty surprising. And Bill pointed this out, and I didn't realize it. I've never really even thought about it. But if you look at this book, 95% of the people in this book fell into the categories that I'm about to go over when they started the business. So if you want to build an organization, there's one thing about going out there, well, we say recruit them all, and we do, right? And don't get me wrong, that's not what we're, but if you want to build organizations with $100,000 earners in your organization, you may want to be aware of the aspects that these people all have. And by the way, the 5% that are did not start out that way, if you look, and Bill, Render pointed this out, he started naming Bill Whittle in particular, even though Whittle is one of the, he fits in the profile. But the ones that are in here that were not in the profile, their whole team is made up of people in the profile, right? And most of those guys are $1 million earners because they built teams of $100,000 earners. So I want to start this off because a lot of you guys are not going to fit the profile. I want you to understand that. That does not mean that you cannot be, if you follow what I'm going to show you right here, you could actually make more money than the $100,000 because you'll have teams of $100,000. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I will tell you this. I know Troy, me, Kirby. I don't know about you two. Y'all are old. I'm just kidding. Well, no, but you look at their teams. Well, look, if you look at Whittle's Fab 5 or Fab 20 or whatever it is each week, Booty, Collis, Blake, Bill himself, almost all of them fit this exactly, all 10 points, right? Now, you're going to miss a few things on here, but it's not. Okay. RVP profile is the method of identifying the winning characteristics of $100,000 RVPs on an analysis of the nature of the result and the manner in which success was accomplished. Various aspects of RVP's personality makeup are determined from his or her choice before, during, and after his or her success. So we just need the criminal one to turn it around right here. They're saying, am I doing this wrong? Or is the battery dying, maybe? And you can go reset it. He's already gone. Yeah. Oh. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to go over, I'm going to kind of explain them a little bit. Is this going to work? Yeah? No, it should work. Good. RVP profiling characteristic number 1. Whenever you're out there and about, now, once again, I want to stress this. If you're prospecting and getting referral, get at anyone you can, okay? You're not limiting yourself to these people, but you need to have a target. If you're just randomly hunting things, you can just kill anything and call it a day. But if you want to have success, success is measured, right? So you want to make sure that you're looking for certain things. It goes back to the blue car theory. If we asked you how many blue cars you saw on the way here, no one would know, right? If we put a value on that blue car, though, we give you $1,000 for every blue car you saw on the way home, you'd be looking for blue cars. So what I'm doing with these characteristics is giving you a target, painting you a picture of what it is you want to get. One of the things I did, I used to keep pictures of the big teams. You know, the PLL has hierarchy pictures of big teams, and I wanted to see big teams, and we kind of mentally draw pictures of what our team is going to look like. So that way, when we found the person that we know what we got when we have it. Okay. So 22 to 29 years old when they start. 22 to 29 years old when they start. Does that mean you don't recruit 30-year-olds? Absolutely not. Bring them on in, right? But 95% of people in this book were 22 to 29 years old when they started. The ones that are not recruited a bunch of 22 to 29-year-olds. Why do you want 22 to 29-year-olds? One, they're still hungry and ambitious. They haven't been beaten down yet. They're usually not cynical. They're usually not, they haven't tried Herbalife in the 80s, or Amway in the 80s, Herbalife in the 90s, National this and this in the late 90s. They haven't, you understand what I'm saying? You get someone in their 40s who's interested in any kind of business like ours, but not that those are, but they're perceived as being like ours. They're skeptical. They're sometimes a pain in the butt, right? Yes. 22 to 29, they're still in that range. What else? They're also doing things. They still have lots of energy, lots of stamina. They can stay up late. You know, when we started doing our team in Shreveport and Natchitoches, our whole crew, I had to keep them out of the bars, right? I mean, I was going to the bar to get them out of the bar. You know, I was like, okay, come on, I'm here, I'm watching y'all, okay? That one, right? It didn't hurt, it didn't help when one of our guys owned the bars. It's like, seriously, can you just kick them all out? No. So, but they're not understand, not going to the bars doesn't make an RVP, but they're young, they wanted to get out there, they're meeting people, they're energetic, they're getting up early-ish, right? They're staying up late. It wasn't like they had to go home at 6 to do bedtime with the kids for 7 to do all the different things. You know, Troy and I, we talked about it, because he's in his part of his business. If he started his business today instead of
Yep.
20 years ago, would you agree his business would be different? It would have to be, not that he couldn't do it,
Yep.
he'd have to, because does
I'd have to
Chandler have
look at all that
stuff?
stuff.
Yeah, he'd be missing a lot of things. Does Chandler have tons of things? Savannah's doing ballet, right? Dear Lord, Hudson's building computers in your house. You gotta watch it, right? That little kid, I was like, playing band, I'm like, how are you doing that? But they're very involved in their kids' lives. Therefore, do we go out there afternoons 5 to 9 as prime time? 22 to 29-year-olds generally have prime time available, right? They may have to skip bowling night one day or something like that, but they're much more open to doing that, and they still have time. I'm going to talk about kids in a second, okay, guys? They still believe that life could be better. They haven't been beaten down by corporate America. They don't necessarily think everything's a scam. They're just, man, if you built teams before, I know y'all built teams before. If you've ever built a team, Brian, you've done this several times, right? And when you see your team layout, when it's always different. When you have an older team, this is not meant to be offensive, but it tends to be a slower team, right? You have a younger team, it tends to be an explosive team. Right. You get to choose. Now look, if you're not, like I'm 35 right now, so obviously I wouldn't fit in this profile, but I can guarantee you this. Vicky, how old are you? 23, 22, 23, something like that, right?
22.
Just maybe, right? Ricky's what, 25?
26.
26. I'm off on by one everything today, okay? If you look at the rest of our recruits since we've been here, they're pretty much in that range, because that's exactly what we're looking for, though, every day. When we're going out there, Jonathan was how old? 22, 23, something like that? You were 24. Robbie was 28. I can just go, Burrell was, I think, 28, 29, and like pretty close in that range. I can go pretty much everyone. Danielle was like 20. Everyone was in that range when we did it. And we built through them. Now through them, we got 60, 70-year-olds on the team, right? We have 18-year-olds on the team. But the bulk of our producers and the bulk of our people that are moving our organization are right in this range right here, or they're recruiting those people. Follow me? Characteristic number 2. There's 10 of these, by the way, if you like numbering. Okay, I'm not going to do like Art Williams. I know Troy and I watched Art Williams in Dallas, and I think y'all might have been there too, right? And Art starts off, we have 7 points, and he goes 1, 2, D, 6. Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty much usually in order, okay? Yeah, can you just because I mean it's just a thing here. A thing and a thing. Married or single, so we're keeping them both open, but there's some specifics on this. If they're married, they have to have a supportive partner. Right. They have to have a supportive partner. I'm telling you right now, I love you, but your job, if you don't have a supportive partner, is the number one priority you can have right now is getting a supportive partner. This isn't a class on how to do that. I can give you some advice on it if you want, but you have to recruit people that have a supportive partner. Obviously, Ricky and Vicky, I'm kind of talking about her because she's back there, but they came to Op Night together. They signed on together. Tammy and I did the exact same thing. We signed on together. You know, Sakura and Kirby are in the business together, right? Megan and Mickey G over there, right? I know she's not here, but y'all, they work together, right? If you, Marlisa, I know, and is a different, she's not like Tammy as a partner, right? But she's, if you talk to the girl, is 100% supportive. And the thing about how supportive you have to be to allow your husband to move to go build a business somewhere else while you're staying back until the time to do this and that. It's support, right? You know, obviously Troy and Jen work together. I mean, it's all, they have to have a supportive partner if they're married, guys. And if they can't help it, you need to make sure you're working with them to get that supportive partner, okay? And that's, especially when you have a partner that's in the business as well, a lot of times they take that, it's working them better. Oh, good. Anyone actually, right? Partner involvement, getting them involved. If they're married, having that partner involved in some form or fashion is crucial. Whether it be Jennifer and Tammy and Troilus when they're doing their when they're doing their partner things, getting them there. Whether it be getting them on, even little things like getting them on the conference call. If y'all see this conference call, getting them to show up to a Saturday training, making them get committed to doing something involved in the business. It's not going to work long term. If the husband or wife, if it's a girl with obviously a husband out there, and she is constantly out being trained by other guys, he's eventually going to get what the hell's going on up here. Right? Look, it's a simple matter of how people are. They get worried. They always have things in the back of their head. Also, They need to know you. They need to know your wife and know that you're not going out there and messing around with their significant other, right?
Exactly.
If you have, and now if you're a husband and your wife, all you know is you're always out. You're always gone. She's taking care of the kids. She's doing all this, and you're not. She doesn't understand and know what it is you're doing. You're gonna have a hard time with it. So you've got to get partner involvement there. Now, if they're single, you can build a business with single people as well. Because obviously, do we want to get young married couples?
Yes.
That's the ideal situation. We build it with single people also. Single people, no problem, but they have to be able to associate with married people. Let me help you out. If I'm married and Jonathan recruits me, and Jonathan's at the bar every night hanging out and cutting up and all this other stuff, do you think Tammy's going to want me hanging out with Jonathan?
No.
Absolutely not. They have to be able to associate with married people. They can't be, if you're single, you can't be offensive. You got to make sure you're respecting the husband and wife, and you're not trying to watch what you say when you're around them. You don't want to. You got to be able to be a family-oriented young person. Does that make sense? You've got to be attractive to married couples, right? You don't have to go get married, but you need to make sure you're acting the part. Okay, guys, and then never fall for that "I am who I am" stuff. Look, guys, you are who you have been created. I mean, it's not. That's such BS. You're just little electrical things going off in your head. Just rewire it. It's not a big deal. Get over yourself, right? Become who you want to become, not accept who you are. Not just a bar rat. I'm telling you this right now. Be careful. Go out there, have fun. But if it's a married couple that you're trying to recruit and they get the idea that you're nothing but you're going out every night, you're doing all this stuff, you're talking about all your hookups and all that, you're gonna lose them.
Yes.
You're going to lose them. They're not going to want to be affiliated with you, particularly if you start getting into some church-type markets, right? Look, a lot of folks in Primerica are really big into their church. Whatever church they may go to, they're usually, a lot of them are really involved in it. You can give yourself if they don't want to be like you, they're probably not going to want to be with you, okay? So make sure you watch your lifestyle. You can make a lifestyle conducive to growth also, okay? Oh, this works much better. Characteristic number 3, don't hang me. But there's the bottom line. No children or very young children is your ideal recruit. No children or very young children. We kind of talked a little bit about that with using Troy as an example in that one, right? If they have no children or very young children, they have no other real obligations. You follow me? They don't have Cub Scouts on Tuesday, baseball on Wednesday, whatever the heck you do with kids on Friday, family night. You don't have all that other stuff. And you say it all the time, Troy. How much because you had Chandler, I think when you, well, not when you started probably. No, y'all were just young, right? Maybe married for a few years old, 26. Yeah, I mean, and Tammy and I were able to do a lot of things. Look, guys, if you have kids, I love your kids too, okay? I'm not telling you to go get rid of them. But, not that you would, right? You want to go out there and recruit these types of people is what you're looking for, right? No reason not to attend the meetings. No reason for both partners not to attend the meetings, right? When both partners are attending the meeting, would you agree there's something happening with your team? Yeah. Look, trust me, when I show up to opportunity meeting and there's no one here, my wife's sitting right there wondering, what the hell do you do all week? Right. It's a little bit pressure to make sure something happens next week, right? It helps to build it, right? They don't have all the extracurricular activities. Now, it does kind of, it's a flip-flop there. They can't necessarily go to all those things as prospecting grounds, but at the same time, we can go all day, any day, every night, all night, and not have to worry about certain things, okay? They don't feel like they're abandoning their children. Right? Because a lot of times, and it's good people. Troy doesn't want Chandler to think that he doesn't want to go to his stuff. Right. And obviously Chandler's been trained since he's a kid to understand what he does. But it's still, as a parent, I imagine it's still a sense of obligation to go to all your things, kids. Listen to Bill talk about he didn't miss any of Blake's anything, right? You can do that, especially if you get them young and train them so that by the time Chandler was, well, how old was he when I started? 2? He was making almost $500,000 a year. He can do what he wants. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, when you're looking for people, you see people with little babies, that's fine. That's no such thing. Or young kids that are not involved in all of the stuff that kids, big deal right there, okay? Once again, if you don't like it, blame Marinder, but I believe it, okay? Former athletes or competitive backgrounds. They're a former athlete or competitive backgrounds. I watch Daniel, anytime someone walks by him that looks like they might work out, right? He asks them where they go to, what gym they go to, or something like that, right? Or if they're a tall dude that looks like a guy, so where did you play, right? We're looking for athletes in competitive background. Now look, you don't necessarily have to have been an athlete, right? I would not call my athletic prowess athletic ability by any sense or fashion. I like to play, but I suck, right? It is what it is. Bad knees, and I'm not very tall, okay? However, competitive background. I was in the recruiting business. Will you agree that's a pretty competitive background thing right there? All right. If you look at pretty much any one of you guys, y'all competed at something. People compete at something. Look at what they do for a living. If they're in a sales or commission type job already, right? Is that a competitive line of work?
Yeah.
If they are already dealing with that kind of stuff, I've talked to the fella at Best Buy the other day who sells the DirecTV stuff, right? That guy is competitive. Like I was talking to him about what's he do. He's like, man, I do this deal, man. I'll hustle. I'll go out there. I'll grab people out in the parking lot and bring them in here just to sell them DirecTV. I'm like, okay, calm down there. Give me your name and number. I'll call you. Give me something better, right? But we were getting the water. But competitive people know what it takes to win. They've won something before, right? They've done something where you don't have to. You know how hard it is to teach somebody how to compete that doesn't have a competition in them. It's tough, man. And look for people that have that in them already, right? All of you guys, I'm willing to bet, have something in you that you've competed in the past before. That you've gone out there and done things. You weren't sitting at your job probably wasn't sit behind the computer, type things in. Sit behind the computer, type things in, and lame just. By nature, you probably went out there and found some kind of work that was involving. You were working with people. You were going out there. You had something that you could do, or you were looking for, right? Has competitive background, wants to win and compete. When you got a new guy or new lady in that wants to go kick everybody's butt, wants to get their license fast, wants to get out on the field, and you can sell them on competing, and you don't have to worry about selling them on all the dumb reasons to do this, you can sell them on the fun reasons to do this, it makes it a whole different ballgame. Has worked a disciplined schedule before. If they're an athlete, right? Did they have a schedule they had to follow? Yeah. Did they have practices they had to be at? Did they get used to game time? Did they get used to coaching the way you probably like to be able to coach? Right? There's nothing worse than Troy has to do this because he's a big diverse team. Sometimes because when you're coaching people and you've seen it occur, right? You got to pull your words sometimes. You got to. It's going to be okay. When you want to just say, go freaking do it, Daniel Loninger. But if I tell it to certain people, they're going to start crying and never show back up. The competitive folks understand what it's like to be coached. Therefore, you can coach them and help them move faster, right? They know how to be coachable. They've had to do it before. They understand patience and persistence. They know they're not going to succeed necessarily the first day. They know they're going to have some people quit because they've seen people quit teams before. They've seen people drop off before. Right. They understand that not everyone makes a championship team because we're looking for championship teams is put together of champions, right? So they understand those concepts. Number 5. Went to a small university or community college. Look, if you went to a big one, that doesn't mean you can't win here. But it's true, guys. This is, and when Arinda started, when he said this at first, he actually, well, I'll tell you that at the end, right? We want me to do that at the end, went to a small college, university, or community college. That means they don't think their degree makes them too good for Primerica. Wow.
That's good.
Whether their degree makes them too good or not is there in their own head. You understand that. But if they went and paid $30,000-$40,000 for a medical degree from Loyola, good luck.
Right.
Good luck. You're going to have a hard freaking time recruiting them. Guys, big fish are nice, but little fish eat just as well. Okay? And they usually don't have worms in them. Right? Anyway, look. You can go to get someone from LSU. When I was in Baton Rouge, you could recruit at LSU. I recruited at Baton Rouge Community College. How many people are going to travel to a different city to go to community college? No. They're pretty much from there. You follow what I'm saying? Do you want locals?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you want locals. You'll get more results from Delgado than you'll get from UNO. 100% chance. Those people are from here. Nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. You're gonna look at where they're at. Plus, they didn't spend a lot for their degree. Look, I went to Northwestern State. Nice school, right? On homecoming this weekend. Yay. When I went there, tuition was I think $900 for all my classes each semester. When I finished with it, I got a degree. Yeah, yay, go me. I really didn't. I went to Northwestern. If I went to Harvard, not Harvard on the Bayou, Harvard, I'd be probably more selective here, unfortunately, about what I want to do with my degree. Does that make sense? Because I just paid $200,000 for the thing, right? Not that we don't have a better opportunity. It's all about how they perceive it anyway. Right. So right is right if it's in their head. Follow me? Small university, community college usually has a middle class background. What's our market? Middle class. Can we service wealthy? Absolutely. But the point is, we want to get into middle class background markets. So you got to make sure you position yourself for that, okay? Works in a people business, started their own business before. Guys, what did they do before? If they were locked in a cubicle in the back and were not allowed to talk to people, they probably liked that. They probably requested that. They took that job for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Guys, when you're going out there, if you're talking to folks, if you're meeting for people, if you're prospecting, if you're asking for referrals, these are some pretty good things to ask specifically for, right? It's all about the people skills. You have to genuinely like people to be this. It's hard to fake. You've had a few vice presidents, right? One of them in particular said outright he did not like people. Right. Also not with us anymore, right? But it's tough if you just don't like being around people. So their job involves them with people all the time. They're usually more compassionate, more understanding, more willing to go out there and work and search for people, right? They want to help. Look, entrepreneurs want it. Simple as that, okay? Characteristic number 7. Doesn't work downtown. They're not true corporate Americans. Let me help. We're not looking for corporate execs. We're not looking for the guy who used to run Exxon. He's going to be tough to recruit because, one, it's going to be hard for him to go out there and make $1 million his first month or whatever it is, okay? And a lot of guys get caught up on going to get these big-time people. When you can go get a dad, a regular old dad that wants to make a better life for his family, who will destroy that guy in Primerica, right? They don't think working with Primerica is beneath them because of their previous jobs. I'm not telling you you can't go recruit formerly successful people with big companies. I think Brett's a good example with Troy. There's exceptions to every rule. Understand that, guys. However, if you're spending all of your time trying to convince the big guy to do this, go get 30 medium guys, and you'll kill them, right? They're willing. If they're not the downtown folks, they're not willing to break out on their own. They've worked too hard to get that corporate position. They've stabbed and killed half of their friends to get that position. You know what I'm saying? They're not just going to walk away from it because this guy come asking if they want to have their own business. No, I'm trying. They're embedded in the system, unfortunately, right? So don't waste your time doing that. If you happen to get one along the way, take it. Don't waste your time searching out that stuff. It's probably not going to work out anyway. Characteristic number 8, they live in an apartment or a cheap house. Live in an apartment or a cheap house. That means they don't have much overhead or financial responsibility, so you can get them full-time quick. If their house note, apartment note, whatever it is $800 a month, they can make that today.
How many of y'all live in an apartment or a cheap house? Raise your hand. Apartment or cheap house? Raise your hand. Cheapest. Look at that.
Guys, how many of y'all lived in that when you started the business? Right?
I live in the home.
Guys,
I
started a business. Look, I tell you, look, I'll give you an example. For me to come full time, it took me a year and 3-4 months to come full time and we did it probably inadvisably. I mean, the way we I had probably about $1,000 in car notes, probably about another $1,200 in house expenses. Then I had student loans and all this other stuff. It was tough to come full time. Now you look at Jonathan. Let me show you how hard it was for Jonathan to come full time. He would wash dishes and wait at tables. He just stopped doing that and started doing this. Full timer. I mean, damn. It's like, do you want to go bust tables tonight? No, I quit. Okay, good. I didn't even know you quit, right? He quit and still got employee of the month, which was kind of weird. I don't know. Right now, went to his work. He was not good at it. Daniel bust tables at a restaurant in Natchitoches and sold makeup. Yeah. Right?
Mary Kay?
What Mary Kay? It was Arbonne and facial creams and stuff like that. Look, he got him because he stood up in class with a bunch of dudes and ladies and said, "Hey, I'm selling this facial cream. If anyone wants some, come get some." I'm trying to build a business, and then Jonathan goes say, "Dude, you need my vice presidents would love to buy some of that makeup cream. You need to come eat them. Freak them to come to op night." Trying not to lie to people.
Wow.
No, but we recruited his ass. And it's a little bit longer to the story. But but you agree, competitive background, entrepreneurial. I saw his house. They have those things, guys. Look, Lean and mean, they don't have to go back and get a job to pay the $1,500 mortgage and $800 worth of car notes.
That's right.
Lean and mean people, guys. I'm telling you, if you get an army of those people, John, our whole team in Natchez, when we started, because like Nick, our first month RVP, I think we did 10, 12,000 in premium after replacement, because the whole damn team was full time. I mean, within 2 months, we had probably, I don't know, 10, 11 people, full-timers showing up at the office every day because they quit their BS jobs and were full-time, right?
That's a no-brainer whenever they're making that.
Yeah, if their total income per month is less than $2,000 where they work right here, they get their district promotion and a license, you got a full-timer.
Right.
We had a girl named Savannah on the team. I think she made, I'm not sure exactly, but in one set about 30 minutes 2 days ago, she made more than she